just other noteworthy crypto news. We just see that Cardano faces its major milestone with 700,000 users on Reddit, which I just thought was a cool number. Stuff is always going up, especially for, those top 10, top 20 coins. People are interested, curious, new people in the space all the time. And then it says, according to Cardano's Insights on Twitter account, the project is about to celebrate 700,000 users on their subreddit as the number of wallets opened up the network exceeds 3.6 million. And I remember looking at this number last year, and it was like 250,000 or 500,000 wallets, right? Once it hit 1 million wallets, it's already at 3.6. Like, this number is astronomically every year growing. If anything that people think has some legitimacy and can and has good opportunity from growth, that's what people want to see as investors, right? But this is happening a lot in crypto in general and a lot of companies. And I've seen, talked about it in the previous podcast, but even if all the market's down and maybe the prices look, hot garbage, there's infinite money, billions and trillions of dollars that will be coming into crypto for the next, I don't even know how long, until it solidifies and maybe there's no more money to be made, which who knows if that'll ever stop. So it's going to be a long time. It's definitely worth something considering about, and that's why we're doing this podcast, because I think it's super interesting and fun, and there's just always new crazy info like this. So I just thought it was an interesting milestone, but at the end of the day, this is happening a lot in crypto. So any thoughts on that?
Yeah, man.
It's just growing.
It's growing. And honestly, I've said it before in previous podcasts. Money is just favored, you know what I mean? A currency is favored as far as bartering, you know what I mean? Once that isn't favored anymore, crypto becomes favored. At that point, game over. It's just going to be a part of life, and it'll never go away. And then something else comes and takes over its place. But what would that be? Who knows? No one knows. I mean, people,
aliens and robots.
Yeah, aliens and robots, or maybe
AI just turns everything off.
Maybe the what do they call those? The Infinity Stone. The stone.
Right.
Anyways, yeah, it's not gonna go anywhere. And I think that's the thing. You can only hold crypto back for so long. It's like a beast that you just keep caged up, and you feed it a little bit, but then it gets so big for its cage, it can't go anywhere. You have to let it go, and it's just
everywhere.
It runs rampant, destroying every financial system out there. From
it's gonna be crazy to watch.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy to watch, and I think what's gonna happen is, right now, banks are accumulating.
Yeah.
They're accumulating. They're buying up this, 29K, Bitcoin, Ethereum. They're accumulating. I think we can look it up, and one of these days we can just pull up these wallets that are constantly just loading, 100 Ethereum, thousands of Ethereums, you know what I mean? But anyways, and then they stop selling, you know what I mean? They just hold it. And instead of day trading it, they just hold it in a wallet. Basic, economy, less supply, more demand. Boom. You got another all-time high.
Yep.
When's that going to happen? I don't know. I have no idea what's going to happen, but I know I'm going to be ready when that happens.
I mean, I guess I'll throw a little secret that I don't talk about a whole lot, but
Don't tell the people. Do not tell the people. All right, you can tell them.
I mean, it doesn't take that much to figure out, but you see a lot of these cryptos that 50 to 80% bought up, and it's if you're worth anything and you're going to stick around for another 10 years, that stuff is going to get bought up eventually. And then what happens? If you're around, for another 5, 10 plus years, some of these at some point, if they're really good, they just,
Bitcoin.
Exactly. Bitcoin's going to do it first. It's going to explode when the max supply. But so is a lot of these other ones. If they're good at all, these things might 10, 20, dare I say 50 or 100x, but it's not that outlandish if it's everyone's using it. Everybody wants a piece. It can be fractionalized, right? So you can when you buy Bitcoin now, you usually only buy a 50th of a coin or a friggin' 10,000th of a coin or whatever. Yeah. And that's going to be the same with a lot of these other cryptos. So, I mean, in the next couple of years, don't be surprised when some of these are why the hell is this worth, I don't know, $20 and now it's worth, 1,000 like instantly, like that's gonna happen. It's
Ooh, BNB is almost maxed out.
right.
Yeah, BNB is almost maxed out. So yeah, so if you go to CoinMarketCap, it'll give you a circulating supply, and you just look at the little bar, and you just hold your cursor over it, and it tells you like what it's circulating at and the max supply, and that just tells you that the code itself is designed not to make any more coins.
So price only go up.
Yeah, so therefore the supply is low, the demand goes up high. That's pretty much what they're looking at. That's why right now it's kind of just still like there's still so the circulating supply it replenishes every year with the X amount of coins.
Might release some.
Releases it, yeah. Like so, like every year they'll release like a couple $100 million dollars worth of coins or whatever. I don't know what the exact coin count is at that point from the top of my head, but that's what happens. But I mean,
and every crypto's different.
Every crypto's different too. They only have their white paper. And honestly, crypto right now still it's in its infancy stage. It's all a promise. It's all a promise. They're like, hey, I'm Ethereum. I'm gonna make codes. I do this. I do that. I do this. I do that. Does any of that work in a real world? No. But what I'm telling you.
Disagree. But continue.
Yeah. So does any of this work in a real world? Alex happens to disagree, but I'm just gonna keep talking now. Yeah, it could be work in the real world, partially as far as like mom and pops but when I'm talking about does it work in a real world? I'm talking about corporate America. Like we just looked at those companies, large scale. We're talking about like the Walmarts.
Visa,
we're talking
MasterCard,
about Visa, MasterCard. We're talking
instant transaction settlement.
We're talking about we're talking about companies that are in the T club. You know what I mean? Right. Like once the companies in the T clubs join, like this thing will be maxed out, and it will just explode because at that point, people aren't gonna leverage gold. And like, I dare to say this in this podcast, but I'm just gonna say it anyways because I just drank some Lentons and I feel pretty good right now. But what I'm saying is, if we go back to that website 5 years from now, and Bitcoin is in the top 3 or the top 1 spot,
not surprising.
Wouldn't be surprised, but I'm just saying it right now. It's possible. 100%. It's extremely possible because all those, you know why that would be possible? Because those top 5 companies will be fully invested in Bitcoin, and that would be
it's a matter of time.
And dare I say it again, that would be the new standard as far as gold.
100%. Michael Saylor, who does MicroStrategy and like is a big Bitcoin bull, but has lots of good reasons and is a financial person, says it's completely possible for Bitcoin to go to $10 million a coin because it can grow forever. The value that's locked in it, and eventually it's going to be maxed out. Or so little is trading that it's like negligible, right? But do I think that's going to happen? I have no idea. It seems like there's going to be a point where it just starts to exponentially explode, and it'll probably do as it always does. It shoots up really high, has a new higher low, right? And then it goes up 10 times and drops again because that's what it's done throughout history all the time. So it really wouldn't be that surprising to see it at, $500,000 relatively soon within the next couple of years. Or, gosh, we could wake up at some point and who knows what happens, right? But, and then I kind of did want to talk about that when you said everything's a promise. I agree with you, and I understand like on a larger scale what you mean. But like so much settlement and transactions and stuff do happen on blockchain as it is, and I just think that's fascinating. And sometimes people like underplay and don't even understand that there's a lot of systems and like companies that are only on blockchain and things that are happening that they can be accountable because they're on the blockchain. So it's like safer and they really like believe in it. And yeah, a lot of companies aren't going to run unless they're on like one of these really established, Ethereum or something. But I just think it's really interesting because I do think we sometimes can undermine like the usefulness it already has, but there's so much going on that it's easy to not know. I use it to make money. But there's other things happening and things being built all the time. So I think it's easy to be naive because there's, 50 billion crap coins and trash coins. But then there's some other meaningful projects and settlement things that are very significant. So, But overall, I completely agree with Leo, and I know what he's saying. Until you actually start to challenge like Visa and MasterCard with the speed and transactions and everything, you can't really have that conversation that they're comparable. But someday I think we're going to get to that point, and yeah, Apple's going to be buying some for their reserves. Tesla's already doing that, and more and more companies are, if they're not already considering doing it, like they're hearing about other companies, and institutional money already has come in the last year or two, and it's silly to not think that that's going to keep happening. So I think if you have a long-term perspective, once again, if prices are down, I don't think it really matters. You look at all the other data points, and they're all very strong. So I think you're going to be really happy if you're involved in the space. Not financial advice, but just kind of look at it in that sense. And it's good stuff.
Yeah, and this is a thing we actually didn't touch base on because I don't know, it just hit me right now. As far as like the blinds hit me, this idea hit me, and that's the fact that like I feel like this is a cleansing of the crap coins. Sorry, it's all the crap coins. It like literally makes them worthless at that point. So when people get burned on these crap coins, with their wealth, that they stop investing in them. You know what I mean? Or they pull their money out and invest it in Ethereum. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is, people always say like, oh, there's thousands of coins in right now. There's thousands of crypto coins. Like it said 19,000 crypto coins as far as today. Yeah. And eventually there will only be so many coins that are actually out, and everything else will be worthless. And that's true because of stuff like this. It cycles. It gives you a cycle in the market where you'll have all these coins that are meaningless and worthless be worth something, valued in as much as like an actual corporation in our country, is worth more than Kraft's, worth more than Toyota or whatever. And then a crash happens, and then people get burned on these coins that they've put their life savings in. And then guess what? They don't ever come back again. They don't come back again ever. People seriously just like blacklist them at that point. So what I'm saying is, it's a constant cycle of people feeding you all this hype and all these dreams, and then we come in through like a recession or like a hard time where the government increases rates and everything, banks pull out of everything, and then these coins that have nothing to do with anything crash. People lose their fortune, and you have 20,000, 19,000 coins out there, but reality, you probably only have like a solid, 200 coins, if anything.
I can't believe there's almost 20,000 coins. I know, it's wild.
Yeah. So actually, we should start talking about that more. Like as far as like the coins that are like every like month or so, like every other podcast, we should bring up the fact like, oh, there's 20,000. Oh, there's 25,000. Like how many coins are they bringing out that are like literally useless? Like I mean, and like pumps. Yeah, pumps. I mean, useless coins work great. This and like a Gangster Legend, they work great when people have making profits on their all-time high records.
700%, Metacyber 364.
Yeah.
Pat Pay, Unitrade 300%.
Yeah, so it's
all good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like we're in a recession, but we got green lights on these. If you look at the market cap, the market cap on these guys are probably like $10,000. You know what I mean? Like honestly, it's not a lot of money involved. It might be more. It might be more. It might be
a whole community to
yeah. The guys that freaking shorted Luna are in this right now, dude. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
I was looking for an article while I was talking, but I couldn't find it. That Vitalik from Ethereum actually said, and a couple of these founders have said the same thing. Is like, we actually hope for recession because it'll clean out the garbage coins.
Cleansing, bro. Cleansing.
Yeah, like he kind of hit the nail on the head in his own thoughts, but they kind of been talking about that, and I completely agree, and I think it is healthy, right? There is something about capitalism that ends up being the great equalizer and cleansing everything out. And I think it's really good. We have seen before the whole inflation and whatever, I can't remember when prices started to go down. Maybe November, December really started to started to go down. And I remember December, like they were really low, and in February. But before that, I mean, things were pumping for a long time. Right. And I think a lot of people that have gone to crypto didn't realize that that's going to happen. Like, oh, wait, my money doesn't go up forever. I mean, there was a while I was like, what the heck? Everything just keeps going up. This is crazy. I didn't realize I could just buy something and make money instantly. But, of course, it's everything's cyclical, and that's things how things go. I wasn't nearly as naive as some of these people. I mean, I can't believe that people are still buying, like, some of the coins that have just bottomed out to zero, like, oh, it's coming back, and just so much denial because they were so invested. Or, everybody wants that story of, oh, well, I made, I bought $1,000 and I made millions, because it went back up. It's trending back up. So, yeah.
Well, 2017 it was when Bitcoin hit $20,000, and then it crashed. Mm-hmm. From $20,000.
What did it go to?
No, it went down on last. It was like 2,000 or something. Yeah,
pretty low.
So yeah, it was literally, I would say, like 80% of its value. You know what I mean?
It's done that many times.
Yeah. So for people to believe it come back, you can call them crazy, but to people to believe that like Luna or a rug pull to come back, that's pure insanity, because at that point there's too much going on at that point.
There's not enough value too.
There's no value, and it honestly, if you read the headlines and you do your own research, it's just not positive. Like when Bitcoin crashed, it was like, hey, it crashed. Like it was a people took profits, and people became billionaires or millionaires. You know what I mean? Like it'll come back, but.
And just normal recession.
In normal recession, exactly. But as far as the way Luna and all these other rug pulls happen, it's highly unlikely, because as you look at like Bitcoin and Ethereum, they didn't go down 80%. They didn't go down 80%. They
Not
went
this time.
because that shows you their store of value. You know what I mean? It shows that there's solid store of value. I would say 50%. 50 to 60%, but not 80 to 90%, or gone. You know what I mean? Or 100. But or 100. But anyways,
when the blockchain calls you back asking for money.
Yeah, no, they're not Bank of America or Chase, or they're like, hey, overdraft fee. You know what I mean? You owe us money now. You're in a negative. We spotted you. No, they're just like, sorry, there's nothing here for you. Have a nice day.
Somebody else took your money.
Yeah, someone else is living on a private island right now in the Virgin Islands.
Thank you for donating.
Flying their G6 airplane from the States down there and having a good time. But yes,
you never thought that you were somebody to donate.
Yeah.
You are.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Your dreams of becoming an overnight millionaire are over. Go back to work. I saw a meme where there was like, there's these two people, like a manager and like a server, and they're like at a McDonald's or some kind of fast food restaurant, right? And then they're like, oh, Mr. Hoddle, welcome back. You know what I mean? Nice. So they're like, yeah, I'm gonna hodl to the moon. You know what I mean? And they're like, oh, well, see where that got you. You know what I mean?
The moon gets pulled down sometimes.
Or blown out of space.
No longer exists.
Yeah, because the Luna, it got exploded. You know what I mean? And the jokes keep coming, dude. This is not gonna go away. This is gonna be around forever. I'm sorry.
Hey, it was one of the most incredible things to see. Live, and maybe my purchase was worth the admission, right? I don't know. I'm not. I bought just enough to be engaged. I had an experience without being depressed, right? Like so maybe that's ideal, but we talked about that in the last podcast of diversifying and stuff, so you don't get hosed. And even if something's doing super well for a while, doesn't mean that it doesn't have its faults, or can be exploited even if it's not by the people running it. It can still just get hammered if it's not well built. So I don't think we're going to see like that for a long time.